Alright guys, here we are for the second game in the series between Zach and MrPopo. This is the semifinals for the High Five Invitational, first ever High Five Invitational. We've got Mr. playing random, Zach playing Terran, and the game will be played on Jungle Basin. So this is it's a really interesting map. It's, of course, you've got both main. Zach does spawn as Terran, of course, and MrPopo gets Protoss. I know MrPopo is not very happy right now. I think that's why he said high five homie, because he got tossed, and you can see here in the spectator comments that MrPopo he's playing random, but he doesn't like toss, and I feel like people that are watching the videos have seen the other videos, so they understand that, and will definitely sympathize for him. So this map is really interesting. You can see here we have the main base, and your main ramp is right here at the front. You also, however, have a rear ramp here that leads to an expansion here in your back. And it's very easy to defend this expansion as long as you don't let these rocks get killed, because you do have destructible rocks that, of course, lead up here around to another expansion, and then your opponent can actually access those pretty easily. So we are going ahead and, of course, get this pylon warped in here. And we saw last game that Zach tried a proxy barracks, so it'll be interesting to see if he tries any other cheese right now. Of course, it doesn't look like it because he does put this barracks here in his main, well, with his supply depot. We've got a gateway coming up here for MrPopo, and income, they're about the same. Yep, with another SCV coming out for Zach. So standard play right now, Zach does send out an SCV. I think he's going to go ahead and scout. Of course, MrPopo doesn't completely wall off here as Protoss, so this SCV should be able to get in. It'll be interesting to see what kind of build MrPopo goes for, because he's getting his assimilator right now, and they're going to go ahead and put 3 probes on there. Very good. And then we've got an engineering bay, quick engineering bay. So we'll see what Zach wants to do with that. Zach does have his SCV in here, and he's kind of spotting around. So it looks like, I feel like that as soon as they get enough guests, yep, there goes the cybernetic core, and we'll probably see another pylon here soon from MrPopo as well. Got this engineering bay almost completed. Got a marine on the way, and an idle SCV. Does not want to work. He's not gonna work. You can't make him, because he is gonna work. Forgive me. He's in the Union, and he's got to stay in the Union, so he's gonna make himself a bunker. Of course, we've got, let's see, just that one marine coming out, and okay, so nothing so far as far as upgrades from the engineering bay. We do have a forge coming on the way. That's one thing I've learned throughout the tournament, that MrPopo, when he does get Protoss, he'll go ahead and get that forge, because he likes to turtle when he is Protoss. Basically, he'll just turtle until he can get enough troops that he thinks he can wipe out his opponent and pretty much attacks. So we've got another barracks cure for Zach, and okay, two more marines here for Zach as well. So the spending tab, MrPopo, of course, does have a little bit spent more on economy, and that's due to drones. Zach needs a lot more drones. He needs to be continued to produce those, which he is, it looks like. Barracks almost done. No add-on. We have seen that Zach likes to get a quick add-on for his barracks, with usually a reactor, unless he's going for some kind of Reaper build, and then it's of course a tech lab. And then he usually gets, okay, MrPopo needs to get 3 probes here on this assimilator. If he's built it, he needs to take advantage. And of course, we do have this forge right here for MrPopo, but we're not seeing any upgrades right now, and we're not seeing any cannons. And of course, he would put that to make me a liar right as soon as I said that. So units real quick. Of course, 19 to 14 SCVs, 5 Marines, 2 Stalkers. MrPopo does go ahead and go straight for those Stalkers. I would guess that he chrono boosted that out. He's going for a quick expansion, which that's something that MrPopo does well no matter what race. He handles his macro well, chrono boosting some workers there to use up that chrono boost. And look at the production tab. We're getting a sensor tower, right here. And a little spectator lag we got there. But this sensor tower, I think Zach really, because this is the semifinals, And if Zach doesn't win this game, he's out of the winner's bracket. He'll still go in the loser's bracket. But I think last game kind of psyched Zach out. I think he's definitely concerned with, of course, staying in this tournament, like we all are. And so I think that shows by this sensor tower placement, this barracks, this full wall in with an actual couple supply depots there. So I think that his play really shows his mentality right now. And so it looks like Popo is going for a 4-gate, also getting an upgrade. So it looks like he is going to take advantage of these possible upgrades. It looks like with these stalkers, though, of MrPopo, we need to be seeing something more than Marines instead of just mass Marines. Okay, we are seeing a factory and, of course, another supply depot. So he needs to. He's doing a pretty good job keeping his money down. Minerals, though, harvesters. He only has 14, so that's something he definitely needs to do better. MrPopo going ahead and transferring probes. He needs to set that rally point over here to a mineral patch, because otherwise this probe is just going to sit there and chillax. So these Marines are moving out, and of course with this sensor tower, Zach can see when an attack is going to be coming. But I feel like he needs to be doing something. Okay, so going straight into a starport, I'd imagine we would see several medevacs from that. Although since with no tech lab, we can't get stem pack, we can't get the marine shields, we can't do anything. So it looks like Zach is just taking a forward position here at one of the Xel'Naga watchtowers. He's of course got all this vision from the watchtower, and he's got all this vision, pseudo vision from this sensor tower. So right now he is definitely playing defensively, and these stalkers are going to come out. And I'm not sure. I don't think they're going to come in with this field of vision. Looks like MrPopo is going for the exact same thing, just symmetrically. So yep, and you'll see Axel there with that comment. So. And I'm not sure why Popo said doe. Maybe he spotted something. I don't know. These troops are getting split up. I think these Marines can definitely take these troops. No, they can't. I was going to say if they were split up, they could definitely take them. But I feel like he needs to be building some kind of marauders. He is getting this tech lab for his factory. But these Marines do go down. Units lost. Yeah, you can see that Popo is ahead. He lost a couple stalkers, and then he needs to. He lost. I think he had 1 or 2 zealots. Of course, he is warping in more stalkers and getting this probe out here so that he can secure a place for his pylon. Going ahead and building more probes down here. I'm a Zerg player, so forgive me. I do sometimes call them Zerns. He's got these cannons right here just in case Zach were to try any kind of Banshee, harass, or anything like that. However, on his he does have 1 starport with with a tech lab and 1 getting with a reactor. And just as I said, Banshees. Zach is getting a couple Banshees right now. He's getting another one with a tech lab, so he could be producing Banshees right now. Although since he saw several stalkers, I'm not really sure if that would be the best strategy at this point. Income. Okay, Zach has built a few more SCVs, but I feel like, okay, number 1, he can call down a mule right now that he needs to be doing, or a scan. Number 2, he needs to be making more SCVs. And something else that was worth noting, that yes, Zach built this sensor tower, but this radius is on the map, and both players can see this. So MrPopo can keep his army right here on the cusp of this radius, and he can still be close enough so that he can kind of keep an eye on things, but not too close so that Zach can actually see. So we do have this pylon here, and more stalkers warping in. With these stalkers warping in, I feel like that Banshees is not really the correct kind of pursuit that Zach needs to be pursuing. Still, we've seen no upgrades from this engineering bay. And Zach is getting, of course, his second command center, so he's expanding. I feel like some siege tanks right now would really, really eat things up, as far as if he could just place siege tanks right here, which he's got a factory. He needs to be making it. He doesn't have siege tech research at all either. So MrPopo is just going to try to push in here. And these Banshees are really not going to do anything, really, because they can just be killed by those stalkers a lot faster than those Banshees can kill the Stalkers. So we do see 2 Stargates warping in and a robotics facility. So looks like with all these Marines, I would say this robotics facility is just for a scout. Although it could also be for Colossi. I've never seen MrPopo go for Colossi, so we could definitely see that. 2 Stargates coming in. MrPopo's definitely got some money to burn, and his command center going up. Needs to get that SCV going. Units. Basically, Zach has a lot of Marines, a couple Banshees, and that's about it as far as his army. Look at the army tab. Yeah, Popo's army is a lot bigger. 75 of 76 to 48 of 54. I really think that Popo could have pushed in and done a lot more damage. These 2 buildings right here, of course, the supply depot and barracks, and bunker are there, but they're about halfway damaged or 3/4 damaged. So yeah, so I think that Popo's got this right now. Although he did build these 2 Stargates and is not using them at all. He's not chrono boosting, but he is getting Observer. So I'm not sure if the sensor tower will decloak units. I don't know, because that's interesting to think about. But these units are up here, of course, on the high ground, and they can see all this. So all MrPopo has to do is, one, he can run down here, wipe out this small army, which is what he's doing. Second option would be, of course, to run into his base. And looks like, yeah, these Marines are just going to get eaten up. Yeah, that's just ugly. Does he have cloak? He doesn't have cloak researched. If he did, that would be great. But as Axel is so vehemently expressing, he needs cloak. Definitely. So units lost. MrPopo is hands down ahead. Is he actually getting cloak? Okay, it looks like he just finished getting cloak. Excuse me, I didn't have production up. So I feel like now getting some siege tanks. If Zach got a lot of siege tanks and sieged up, I think that would be the best possible option for what everything he can do right now, because siege tanks are going to be able to hold off these Stalkers, which is the majority of his